G'day guys, welcome back to another video with Eno from Fantasy Take TV. Today I'm beginning a new series on my channel for the season called Coach Analysis. It will be similar to videos that another YouTuber called FPL Focal has done, so I do thank him for the idea. I'll link one of those in the description below. Each round I will be analysing the ownership of the top 1000, the top 100 and the Hall of Fame coaches. I'll do this through looking at the best 22 of the ownership, the captaincy choices, and some trade boost usage will also be discussed as the new strategy for 2022. We'll also take a quick look at the most popular trades of the week at the time of the recording. Lastly, I will be conducting a monthly interview with an experienced coach to gain some insights on the decisions that they make through their team, their trades, and their overall philosophies of SuperCoach. Here on the left, you see Nick Dacos, who's in over 75% of teams heading into 2022. I often wonder what the other 25% are doing. But anyway, for today's video, I will be looking at, as I said, the consensus 22 for SuperCoach heading into the season. And as I'm unable to do the full analysis as I would be normally doing in between rounds, I will just be doing this today just to give a quick glimpse of what you can expect. So we'll start with the defense. And as you see, Lachie Whitfield is the most owned premium price defender at 48%. Couple that with Jack Lloyd and Jack Crisp. Those three are sort of the three most owned premium price players. Sicily is the cheaper and more value defender of choice over the likes of George Hewitt, who is in 24% of teams. So Sicily is sort of winning that battle at the moment at 32%. The rookies at this stage are probably not worth focusing on too much, but Paddy McCartan and Sam DeConning are the two most owned that sort of like playing at this very early stage until teams are named. Moving into the midfield, and McRae and Steele remain amongst the most owned premiums. However, Jack Steele has actually dropped over 10% this week after Tuke Miller's amazing performance on Monday night, sort of reinforcing with coaches that Tuke Miller is here to stay as a premium option. So Jack Steele, I think, was about 48% or 47% like McRae, but has also dropped down to about 37% as Tuke has rised about 10% himself. Jack McRae's dipped a bit too because of that, but those two will remain the most owned options heading into the season. Dead Neal sits at M3 at just under 50%. Pretty much seen as a lock in the community after his injury-riddled 2021, where he's priced at 99 and clearly will outscore that at his best, and he's been a very, very consistent scorer over his career. Matt Rao has jumped up to, I think it's over 40% now. I just haven't had time to change it. Again, after that Monday night game that we spoke about with Tuke and his great performance, looking back to his ball-winning best. Jared Berry is one that's been around this ownership for most of pre-season. It has risen, and he did have a great pre-season, showing scoring potential at a very discounted price of $260k. Jason Horne-Francis, Nick Dacos, and Josh Ward are the three most owned midfield rookies. And I know I said before that they aren't really worth talking about, but these three guys are seemingly locks amongst the community, and rightly so. Whilst we are struggling with our salary cap a bit, I have seen some tinkered with possibly removing Horne-Francis, but with his opening matches against Hawthorn and a depleted West Coast, it may be too risky to do that. The rucks come in, and for another year, Gaundy is the people's choice. I know many of us did think that maybe this year the rucks would change, and maybe it was looking that way with Sean Darcy, but these two have climbed in ownership over the recent weeks, and Sean Darcy's put a few people off with his injury concerns, and he's dropped all the way down to 13%. Lastly, the forwards, and look, they've been pretty consistent across the preseason, with Dunkley always being the preferred F1. Isaac Heaney is bolted in consideration, with John Longmire flagging some increased midfield minutes. But a Tom Papley injury and Buddy being rested during the preseason saw Heaney spend a lot of time forward in the last preseason game. However, he did play very, very well. Zach Butters is rendered as close to a lock for the coaches as well, with great performances as an inside midfielder this preseason, and he's up at 41%. Cogs is an absolute lock at 70% ownership. Very cheap, looked great in the preseason, looks rejuvenated and ready to go. So just the second most owned, sitting behind Nick Dacos, and he's at 70%. Will Brodie. Now, he looks to be the leader of the 200k sweepstakes. Other options include guys like Mitch McGovern, Tristan Cherry, and Hugo Ralphsmith. But Will Brodie is leading that at the moment with 30% of teams. He showed very, very high points per minute scoring in the midfield in the preseason. However, we do need to wait and see if he is selected for round 1. Rochelle rounds out the most owned forward rookie, where there are quite a lack of options similar to in defence. This is what the final rolling 2022 looks like before we kick off the season on Wednesday night. If you enjoyed this style of video or have any questions or possible suggestions for me to improve it in the future, leave a comment below and I will get back to you. Give it a like, hit subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys real soon.
Got the mojo deals, we been tripping like the 80s. Pulling out the coupe at the lot.